Hello everyone and welcome to layout update number 36. I know I said in update 35 there was not going to be any more updates, but I wanted to give you guys an idea of what's going on, the plans for the future, and also discuss a new item that just came in. So getting right to it, as you can tell, there's nothing on the layout. This track right here is not screwed down, it's not wired. The only wired track that I have right now is this. It's a makeshift test track that I made just to make sure that this engine worked when it came in. So we're going to get to that in just a second, but the only thing that's left on the layout right now is the farm. And this will kind of give you guys a good idea how I built the crop rows and whatnot. They're on a piece of foam. I've talked about this in other layout updates, but they're on a piece of foam and it's just glued down, so that way in case I ever had to move it, it just comes right up, which makes me thrilled because now we're moving. So that's terrific. I don't have to worry about redoing that entire section of crops. The Halloween town is coming with me in my new house. So that is going to be great. It's going to look similar. And I think if I design the layout the way I want, which is something I'm going to show you guys in this video, the new layout design. But if I can do it the way I want, that might be a showpiece on the layout. So as you can tell, no track except for this one section right here, which is underneath the mountain. And the only reason that's still there is because I need help getting that mountain off the layout. It's not that it's heavy, it's just that it's awkward because of the size of it. So I'm gonna need someone to help me take that off there, and that's why that track is still underneath it. But as you can tell, no track and no wiring. I took up all the wiring, which was a pretty big job because I didn't realize how much wiring I had underneath this layout, and I'll be able to save almost all of it so I can use it on the new layout. And you guys can kind of see here what I did in case I was to save this layout. I traced all the track that I was using, and I even marked certain sections so that way I would be able to put it back the way it was if I was going to build the same layout. But due to the constraints of the section that I'm going to be using in the new house, I won't be able to have a layout as big as this. Now this layout is 20 by 12, 20 by 10. It varies a little bit because the new section is a little bit smaller than the old section. You kind of see it right here. But that's basically because this room is, well, this was a room which was divided by a wall that was right there, which we knocked down and we went into the second room. So that's the reason why the layout's a little bit staggered. But other than that, let you guys in on a secret. We've basically finished the deal on the new house, and it is actually right there on the other side of that window. It's my parents' house. My parents decided that they wanted to spend more time in Florida, which is where their summer house is. So they asked me and my wife if we wanted to take over their house. And we said, yeah, absolutely, because their house is bigger than ours. It's got a pool. And it has a detached shed in the back, which is approximately 17 by 15 and a half. So this layout's going to shrink, but that's okay because I'm really thrilled to have their house. It's where I grew up. And the funny story was my neighbor came to us, well, me about 15 years ago and said, hey, we're going to be moving. Would you like to buy our house? So I said, yeah, absolutely. It makes my life easy. I don't have to change my lifestyle too much. And I've been here ever since. So that's kind of the update on the house and also what's going on with the layout. As you can tell, there's not much more to be done until I start taking this apart. And since this is Miani bench work, I've been in touch with them and they said that they can reconfigure the layout once I know what I want to do. And I'm pretty sure I've got that set up. So I'm going to, before this video is over, I'm going to go upstairs and show you the new design that I've come up with. And this is the new item to my collection. It's the Lionel George Bush SD70, which I am thrilled to have, guys, because I've had obviously a lot of Union Pacific in my collection from the start, and now that I'm mainly focused on that railroad, this was the last piece to my heritage collection, and I am really happy to have it. I missed it the first time they brought it out, which I believe was back in like 2008 or 2009, and I was looking for it. I bid on eBay a few times. I made some deals with a few people. Every single one of them fell through. And finally, this has come in. As you can tell, I haven't even taken the protective pieces off any place on the engine. And there's the box still. So it's only here just to test to make sure it works. And so far, it's worked fine. Now, I can give you guys a real short run of it because I've literally got about 12 inches over there, maybe a little bit more. But again, that's the only test track that I could do, so I wasn't about to start building an entire track just to run this engine. So let's get it started up real fast.
This is the dispatcher. Do you copy? I read you. Over. Please start up and stand by. Over. Yes, sir. We'll fire her up. Out.
All right, so that's probably the slowest or shortest running session I've ever had, but as you guys can tell, I don't really have much to work with. Once more, thrilled to finally have this piece in my collection, and I can't wait to get it running on the new layout. So without further ado, let's run up back to my office so I can show you guys on my computer what the new layout's going to look like. Alright everybody, we just made it upstairs, and what you're looking at is the new layout design of what I'm planning on building in the new house. As you can see here, one of the most important things to me was keeping the turntable in the roundhouse. So this is where they're going to be. Now the program that I'm using is called RR Track. It's right down here. I'll zoom in so you can see it. And this program is pretty good. I got it offline, and it allows you to do a lot of different things. A couple of things you see here, like for example, this right here is going to be the coal tower that I had made. And this right here is going to be the 2-stall engine shed that I was showing you guys. And then these are some buildings over here. And then up here is another building that I'm planning on using. This big section right in here is going to be a walkway, and I plan on having a second yard over here along with this yard and also with this sidings right there. Now the really cool thing about this program is once you're done, it allows you to print out the track that you're going to use. Like for example, I have Atlas track, and once I printed everything out, I mean, here's just, I don't know if you can see that. Let's turn it into the light. Let's do it this way. There you go. There's a printout of everything that you see right here, and it's pretty accurate. The only thing I'm not crazy about is that when it prints out on the side, instead of going in 1-foot increments, it's in 2-foot increments. But I mean, that's not the worst thing in the world. What I was saying before though was that with this program, you can get the exact type of track that you need and how many you need. I'm gonna find here's the printout right here of all the track that I need in order to make this layout. So there you go. It tells you the type of the track, the amount of the track. It even gives you the track number from Atlas. Now, more than likely, I have all this track except for a piece or two like these here that are starred. I know I don't have those for sure, so I'm going to have to get those. But in general, everything on this list I have. So now all I have to do is turn around and start building once I have the time. Another thing that it allows you to do, it allows you to print out what the layout would look like, basically a 3D view right there. Now what I'll do is I'll switch to it on the computer so you can get a better view of that. So let's go look up there real quick. Alright, now before I do that, just a couple other things. One of the differences with this layout that I learned is I wanted to make it easier to access everything. Now, looking at it, there's only one spot which will probably be difficult to access, and that's right there. Because if you add it all up, it's about 6 feet from this walkway section all the way over. So I'll be able to reach probably to about here, then I'll have to climb up to do this section. But for the most part, everything else will be easy to access. So that was one thing which was really important to me. I don't want to be climbing up on the layout anymore. It's not fun, especially the old layout. It's a big layout, and getting to the far sections is a real pain. Not to mention if something gets stuck over there, it's even worse. And I also worry about, possibly breaking something. This layout's going to have a lot less on it, as you can see. Now this is a window right here on this side right here. I don't know if you guys can see the mouse when I'm moving it around, but that's a window. And then this up here is going to be a door. And this is going to be a building which hopefully I have made this year. So as you guys can see, there's a lot less going on this layout, but two things which were really important, like I said before, were having the turntable and the roundhouse on the layout, because I want to have a place to store my big boys. I don't want to be putting them in closets. Now this shed that I'm going to be using does not have a closet. So I have some shelves that my grandfather built when he was alive that I'm going to use to store my trains on. However, there's not going to be that much room, so I got to be careful and make sure I have enough room to walk around the layout and also for storage. So that's the goal right now, is to make sure that I have enough of everything to make things work. And the other thing which I'm going to do is right up here in this section, I'm going to have a lift bridge. Now the bridge that I have is an Atlas bridge, but the one I'm going to make is going to be different. I'm going to have a lift bridge where it's basically on a lever that'll go up and down, so I don't have to crawl under it. I can just lift it up. Now the Atlas bridge that I have, it's a great bridge, but taking it in and out was a little bit of a job, so I don't want to be doing that anymore. I just want to be able to lift the bridge up, walk in, go to my layout, and start running trains. So that's the plan right now. Let me know what you guys think. I want to thank everybody for watching, and all my new subscribers, welcome. If you guys have questions, please don't hesitate. I really try to help out any way I can. And also, just a personal note, I want to thank all the doctors and nurses who are out there on the front lines every day with this coronavirus that we're all facing. You guys, you don't realize what it's about until it hits home. And my wife is a nurse, and she's on the front lines with this virus. So every day is a battle just for us. And I didn't know what people were talking about until it hit home. So any of you who have family members who are involved with this, who are out there every day, thank you. Please take care of them. Please be safe. And another thing too that I've learned is try to be patient with them, because the stress levels that they're under is something that hopefully we never see in our lives. But I want to tell everybody, stay healthy. Please be careful out there. And to all the doctors and nurses and first responders and military people that are putting their lives on the line for us every day, thank you. All right, guys. Thanks again for watching, and please comment and like below. Thank you. I'm sorry about that, everyone. I wanted to show you guys this view before I finish the video. So this is what the layout will look like from a 3D view. So you can see where the turntable, the turntable and the roundhouse, the walkway, the second yard, some of the buildings. This is what it's going to look like. And there's a whole bunch of different views. Like we saw the plane view, which was that. Then this is the component view, which shows you all the track that you'll need. Then there's the terrain view, which shows you what it would look like overhead. The 3D view, which I think is really cool, so you can get an idea of what your layout's going to look like before you even build it. And then the simulation view, which is showing you where all these switches will be. You can see they're highlighted in green. So I'm sorry about that I cut it off before I showed you that. This is just a kind of like a PS. Let me know what you guys think, okay? Thanks again, and hope you enjoyed this video.